Hi everyone, I'm Stanley and I'm from the Guangren High School, and today I'm going to interview Quincy Davis. He's the most successful and it's my favorite basketball player in Taiwan. So, hi.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the support throughout the years with my career in basketball. It's good to have the youth growing up watching me and being motivated enough to have me join their school projects or ask me questions about health, basketball, and overall life in Taiwan. So it's good that I have inspired you through basketball to want to ask me questions and honestly just get my opinion. So it means a lot. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. And today our topic is success. So my first question, of course, is like, do you think you're a success?
Do I think I'm a success? Well, you must define success. I think at the end of the day, success is what makes you happy. Most people would think that success is having a lot of money or having a lot of just anything. But at the end of the day, materialistic things, money, cars, jewelry, toys, you may like a lot of action figures, may like to play a lot of video games, whatever it is. Success to me is happiness and giving it back to people so they can pursue their dreams at whatever they want to do. So luckily I've been able to do it through basketball. So that is success to me, to be able to play basketball and inspire a small country to believe in themselves a lot, to overcome anything that they may not be able to do, whether it's defeating a country in the national games, whether it's using that to say I'm tall but I'm still a giant in heart, in mind, and soul. I think that really defines success of how I can motivate people to think outside the box and also motivate them in different careers that don't pertain to basketball. I think that's success in my life. So yes, I believe I'm successful in many ways through basketball. I've encouraged people to compete, to be competitive in non-basketball sports-related activities, as far as tech, as far as I think I remember getting information from a kid who said that he was in med school when we played in a national game in 2013, and it just helped him be motivated to to finish his degree. So it had nothing to do with sports, but he was just motivated because he was happy to see Taiwan across the screen competing and winning games. So that's successful to me.
Yeah, I agree that. But because to me, I define success as keep doing what you do and do what you are good at.
Good at, and most importantly, what you love.
Yeah, sure. Like you, I think you you have go to the 2005 NBA draft, right?
No. I've had a couple tryouts with NBA teams, but I've never made it to any drafts or anything.
I know that, so that's why you keep doing what you like, what you love. You love basketball, so you travel around with different countries, different league, and now you come to Taiwan, you stay here, and you become a Taiwanese citizen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the idea also about success. My overall goal was to make it to the NBA, but I didn't make it to the NBA. So my next opportunity to continue to play basketball, and maybe I'm not in the NBA, but I got a chance to move across halfway around the world to make it here to Taiwan. A few stops along there in Japan, Korea, mainland, South America, but ultimately I'm still playing basketball and I'm helping other people to live out their dreams as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's move on. And the next question is, could you describe your basketball career? Because I know you travel around the world, so like you probably have a lot of uh, difficulties in your basketball career, right?
Yeah, it's always going to be ups and downs in whatever you do in life. My main ups and downs is traveling the world without family. It's the main up and down. The other up and down is injuries. The next up and down is choosing, to live abroad, away from your country. So up and downs are always going to come. But I think anybody who choose any career path, whether it be architecture, whether it be a designer, whether it be in the medical industry, you're always going to have up and down. You may have to travel, you may have to deal with some family issues. I think that's just a part of life. So yes, I deal with a lot of up and downs. It's not easy to deal with, but it's just a part of life. You're going to have those upsets. I think the main thing is how do you overcome and how do you push through those obstacles that you have. So it's very important.
Yeah. And P League have decided to let you play as a local player.
Right.
Yeah. So how was it feeling?
Yeah, so with the new P League here in the end, it's the next phase from the SBL here in Taiwan, the basketball league. I'm very happy to be able to play in the P League. I'm almost 40 years old now, and I've sacrificed a lot to become a Taiwanese citizen. So it's a very gray area. Like, is he 100% Taiwanese or is he just Taiwanese on paper? So to give me the honor to play as a local, it definitely preserves my career as a basketball player. So they still have to go out and find other import players. So it gives me time to get much needed recovery when I need it. So I think, again, it's an honor that I have been selected and been allowed to play as a local player. Anybody who has any issues or problem with a 40-year-old becoming localized and playing on the court, that problem lies with them. But I think I can still do it, and P League has given me the opportunity. So I'm very excited and very thankful for it.
Yeah. And so when did you got the call from the Taiwan basketball team?
Which call?
The call that the Taiwan professional basketball team called you
To come join?
to come join the team.
It had to be, well, it's my 10th year now being in Taiwan, so it was actually an email. Got an email to take the opportunity to play in a different country, which I was very excited about. If I got a call from Japan, Korea, China, I probably would have declined it because I've already been there, seen that, done that. But the opportunity to come to a new country was very intriguing, even though I had pretty much, we say it when you're retired, hang up your shoes. You know? So being a place where I've never been before, I was very eager to see, what it was like, and actually put that on my list of places that I've traveled and played the game of basketball. So it was an email to come over and give it a try. I said yes, and with the success in the first couple of years, that's when I was provided with the opportunity to become naturalized and become a citizen. So I think it was a good choice that I made a final option to reply to that email and give them the okay that I will come join.
So now you became a Taiwanese citizen and you play for the national team, right?
Right.
And when you go to the first practice in national team, how was your feeling, and did any senior talk to you?
I've known a lot of the guys on the team through playing the first 2 years in the regular local team here in the SBL. No, it really wasn't like a first day of class type thing. Like, I've known a lot of the guys. My national team coach uh, was the same coach for my local team, so it really wasn't a big difference. I just knew that I was now playing basketball with the best of Taiwan players, so it was very exciting on that aspect. And we get a chance to go represent a whole country, millions of people as a whole, and that's within itself is very exciting. So it felt really, really good because in the SBO you don't get a chance to travel too much, so it's all in one city. So to be able to travel around the world was very exciting.
Yeah, and like you became a Taiwanese citizen, and how was your life changed when you moved to Taiwan?
Life changed a lot because prior to becoming naturalized, I was only spending 6-7 months here in Taiwan. But when I became naturalized, now it's a whole 12 months out of the year that I need to stay here. Local team season, then the national team. So that extended throughout the summer. So it became life-changing because, again, we mentioned those obstacles, not being able to go spend time with your family and always being busy. The other downside is that your body really doesn't get a chance to rest. So any injuries, you have to, just keep pushing and try to get stronger and stronger as you're, nursing those problems that you have with your body. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when you came to Taiwan and you decide to stay in Taiwan, and now you run your own vegan restaurant. Mm-hmm. And how's that feeling, and why vegan?
So one beautiful thing about Taiwan is that the varieties of fresh vegetables. Prior to me coming to Taiwan, I didn't eat a lot of the vegetables that I'm eating now. As far as the spinach, a lot of the fruits, a lot of the Buddha head fruit. What is that one called?
Buddha heads.
What's the Buddha head one? Sija.
Yeah.
Never tried that ever in my life. Never had dragon fruit when I was in America and traveling around.
The dragon fruit is good.
Delicious, love it.
Yeah.
What else haven't I eaten? The water spinach. We have different spinach, in the States, but never had water spinach. I can go on and on and on. It's just so many different vegetables. So as I'm engulfing into the Taiwanese culture, I tried so many fruits, so many vegetables, and I just loved it. I was still eating, a lot of the cheese, a lot of milk. My favorite other food was dumping, the roll. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah.
A lot of eggs. I was just eating all that stuff because it was just very intriguing to me and something new. But also I was still having knee problems, swelling in my knees, heartburn. I really wasn't a big meat eater, but after having those issues and just taking medicine, and it was only temporary. So then the next day it happens again, and you got to keep on taking medicine. I was like, I got to try something different. So I decided to try giving up all animal products. And with that, I found success. I found relief. I found that my body felt better. So I said, maybe I'm onto something. And throughout the next 5 to 6 years leading up until today, I said, I'm going to retire soon. I really want to show people that you can still live a healthy life with using protein from a plant-based diet. And not only did I want to show them, I wanted to prove to them by opening up a vegan restaurant. So fast forward to today, I have a vegan restaurant for the last 2 years now. And I show people that vegetarian or vegan diet doesn't have to be boring because we have hamburgers, we have risotto, we have pizzas, we have cheese on there. That's a vegan plant-based cheese. So we have meatballs. I think you tried the spaghetti meatballs.
Yeah, sure. It's really delicious.
Thank you. And so you can have all these options and it still be vegan. So again, why do animals have to suffer if we can use these plants as our nutrition and as our protein to help grow it? So my restaurant is strictly here to give us health, give us nutrition, and prove to us that a vegan diet is a sustainable way to live and is possible.
Yeah, and like I remember you like to travel, right?
Right.
Yeah, and how was your hobbies except playing basketball?
Goodness. If you followed me around on any given day where I had a day off to relax from playing basketball, you'd probably catch me riding my bicycle
Yeah.
along the river, the Danshway River. I love water. Very intriguing to me. I love being outside, love riding bike like I mentioned, and that's pretty much it. I just love being outdoors, doing bike riding or doing fun stuff. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, so being around the water is the most relaxing feeling that you can have. Being in an area is mesmerizing, is soothing. So my hobbies are anything that involves riding a bike and being around the water, which you'll find me doing.
Yeah, and as you say, you come from the California, Los Angeles, right?
Right.
So have you ever seen Lakers game?
Oh, absolutely. It was right down the street from my house in Inglewood, so I was able to catch a handful of games growing up. But for the most part, it was right there, so it was really no big deal. I guess anybody who was not from Los Angeles, it would be like a huge excitement to it, but you know, it was just something that was just a part of our culture, so it was just normal life.
Yeah. And I've heard of Kobe Bryant, right?
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Definitely a big tragedy for the whole world, not just
yeah,
the Lakers or the city of Los Angeles. So just tragedy, unfortunate, but definitely thankful to be able to be in an era where we got a chance to see him play and hopefully learned a lot from his Mamba mentality and it's just a exciting time to be around to watch him perform and bless us all with his great talent.
and as you say, Mamba mentality. And do you think you have Mamba mentality?
I don't think I do. The Mamba mentality is a whole nother level. I definitely inspire to mimic it, but it's definitely a rare mentality that you have. His work ethic is just insane. So I definitely try to mimic it in many ways, but I definitely don't believe I have it.
I'm gonna ask a pretty sad question. Is you watch Kobe games
Right.
and you know him, right?
Well, I didn't know him from watching the games or something like that.
Yeah.
Nothing
And
personal.
how was your feeling when you heard Kobe's news?
It was very, very sad. I was actually laying in bed and got the news from my brother. He sent a message through the group chat, and he's a huge Kobe fan. It was very saddened, but it was almost like one of those things that you didn't believe it, but you could believe it is true because Kobe uses helicopter as his everyday car.
Yeah.
He lives south of Los Angeles in Newport Beach area. Driving from Newport Beach, going to the Lakers arena is a very headache of traffic that you have to go through every day. So imagine him doing that twice a day. Kobe being the superstar that he is, if you can afford a helicopter, why not? But him using that as his everyday car,
Sure.
it was almost, I feel like it was destined to happen. Something was destined to happen. I mean, car accidents happen all the time. You get a flat tire, you can always pull over to the side. But if any failures go wrong in a helicopter, it's gonna bring it down, and it's usually not a safe landing. So when I heard about it, I definitely believed it. Didn't want to believe it, but it was definitely tragic that it happened.
Because
But the chances are
Yeah.
very high when using that every day in your life?
Because a lot of Taiwanese heard the news. It was at New Year's in Taiwan,
Yeah.
and like at that time I was pretty sick because I was like I threw up yesterday before the news.
Right.
And yesterday I awake and my brother run into my room and he said Kobe's died. I was like, no, you better be kidding me. Like, and I called every my teammate. I said, do you know Kobe's died? Like they say, what, really? And a lot of people in Taiwan they say, I don't think it's a true. Like because our teammates have a lot of like deep Kobe fans,
Right.
and we doesn't want to believe it, and we all learned it, the Mamba mentality of him. And I used to meet him at Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been LA before and I played with him. Yeah, and like he teach a lot of new generation, a lot of things like Mamba mentality, a lot of things like never give up and do whatever you want. And if he was still alive, like I was pretty like to interview him because I think he's the most successful basketball player around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, I think it's a tragedy that it happened, but I try to look at the positive in every situation, and I'm just glad that we got a chance to embrace, got a chance to see, got a chance to witness such a great individual, and I'm very happy that I was around or living in this era where he was at his prime and at his superstar status through basketball. I think the other thing that I was most sad about is that his girls are without a father now, but he definitely leaves behind a great legacy for everyone, basketball fans around the world. And if you're not basketball fans, I think every time that my Fapiao comes to number $24 or something like $25,000, I always think about Kobe. Anytime that there's it's 8/24, you think about it. If it's August 24th, you think about it, you know what I mean? So definitely a lasting impression that he's given, me, and I'm sure a lot of people around the world. So I'm just, at the end of the day, even though it's a negative situation, I think about the positive that we got a chance to have him in our basketball world for the short time that we did, but definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate that.
And the other question is, what will you like to do after you retire?
After I retire, I would love to open up a school. I need to do a lot of thinking about how I want to do it, but I think it will be an international school that that's bilingual. Obviously, sports will be a requirement that we must, have as a necessity for life. I believe that sports need to be a necessity for life in school, and I think that would be my overall goal if I could just have a school, an international school here in Taiwan. Like I said, first, teach English. Second thing, sports, and third, just how to live everyday life as a respectable citizen of Taiwan. Obviously, learn some cultural things such as Taiwanese language, learn about the history of Hakka, learn about all indigenous people, and because at the end of the day, we want to be a full, well-rounded culture about who we are as Taiwanese, and also be able to comfortably share who we are to people around the world. And we can do that by traveling and bring our ideas and things that we learn from traveling back to Taiwan and help grow and become more successful in the future. So I think the only way to achieve that is through education. So I hope to be able to do that.
Yeah, sure. And the last, one more question for you is, in Taiwan there are a lot of potential players in current high school league.
Right?
Yeah, and like me, I play in HBO Group B.
Right.
Yeah, and like a lot of young players will probably like to play in the P League or some other countries' professional leagues.
Right.
And so, have you ever think about that? You play like you play in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever think about that you are being a professional player?
No, I never thought about that I could do it, but I did realize in junior high school that my height was really,
Yeah,
growing.
because your height is potential, right?
Right, my height is potential for that sport, but I never really dreamed about being a professional basketball player. It was just something that the opportunity was there, so I reached out and grabbed it. I was growing taller than every one of my my peers, my friends outside of school. I mean, outside of the basketball team, it was just like, bro, you should play basketball, right? And then I stepped out there and I was actually good at it. So my suggestion or my advice is that even if you're not tall, you still got to have that heart. We just mentioned the whole Mamba mentality thing.
Yeah.
Most of the NBA players that we see who are the greatest and that we idolize as the greatest are not the tallest, players. It helps to be tall, but the tallest are not necessarily the best. It's the ones that have heart, have that Mamba mentality, have the passion for the game, and they never give up. On the flip side of that, everyone is not going to become a professional, basketball player. Not everybody's going to become a professional golfer or just anything that's professional. But I believe the character building and the passion that you get from it and the mentality that you get from it, from learning to play sports, whether that's eating healthy, whether that's learning how to work well with your teammates, learning how to train, learning how to deal with fatigue and adversity. Those things are very important for any job that you do. So later on, if I want to become a architect or an engineer or a doctor, I want to design websites, I'm going to always remember what I learned, how to talk to people, how to interact with people, how to go out and research, how to stay up late but still wake up early, how to take care of my body mentally and physically so I can get this website done. If I want to build the next E-Ling E building, I'm going to have to go to Japan, I'm going to have to go to Europe, I'm going to have to go to America and get different ideas. Hey, what are you guys doing differently that we can keep this thing, upright for many centuries to come? I'm going to have to interact with these people and build relationships, and I think sports helps you do that. So any kids out there who are pursuing sports and your parents are constantly saying, hey, you're not going to make it to the professional league, you're not going to do this. Tell your parents that even if I don't make it to the stars, hopefully I land on a moon, and the moon is becoming that doctor or becoming whatever you want to be, and there being a patient on the table. Hey, pass me this. Hey, you do this. You're in charge of this. You take care of his heartbeat and his oxygen. It's still a teamwork thing, and I think that helps in whatever you do because you learn that as a young kid. So, let your parents know that I can still do this, and I'm going to grow as a person inside in any profession I step into because I play sports. So I think that's very, very important is that we get our parents to understand it. And students, you can repay your parents the reward by making sure that you're doing well in school, because you can't have one without the other. You can't have bad grades. There's no way I made it through high school, made it through college with bad grades and still play sports. They just won't let you do it. So if you're good at your grades and your sports is lacking, then you got to bring that up. So it's definitely a form of balance that I want to bring to Taiwan. But again, you have to have both of them. You need to have both of them. And the time that you're a kid up until you're six, how old are you now?
I'm 17.
17. So you're making a lot of choices right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna, stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You're getting to the point where now you don't even ask your parents if you want to go do this or purchase this. You're becoming a young adult.
Yeah.
So these are the very small years of your life. Hopefully you know how to step in a room or step outside on the basketball court or step into a 7-Eleven and make friends, or a coffee house, or talk to people, or interview me, because you have those skills and you feel like we have a common thing with basketball, or just being fellow citizens of Taiwan. You learn that somewhere down the line from being outdoors and developing your character. But I feel like if you were just tunnel vision, always, your mom told you don't leave the house, study, when you become an adult, you're probably not going to be as outgoing and you want to do an interview. You're probably going to be scared to be around people. So
Yeah.
sports is definitely the way to go. So that's why I
Yes.
want to be involved with that.
And would you like to give any suggestions?
Suggestions?
Yeah, to the new generation basketball player in high school.
Not just, sure, but not just to the new generation basketball player, new generation just citizens. We have a job to do as citizens, and it's not just to live our life, pay taxes, have kids, and die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's our job as the youth, as the young generation, because you are the next, the next CEO of a company. You are the next innovative designer. You are the next doctor. You are the next everything. And that goes for all the kids out there. You are the next. The old will be gone, and the new will become the old. So we have to have in our mind that we want to reinvent different systems that we see that are failing,
Yeah.
to improve them. And if we see things that are good and succeeding, we want to capitalize on it or add to it. So if we see right now that there's viruses going on, we need to think about how can we prevent these things in the future. If we see that plastic is becoming a huge problem,
Yeah.
we have to demand that people use sustainable things such as paper, such as leaves, such as anything that's plant-based, that comes from the earth, because the earth will naturally swallow it back up and use it again.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I became vegan, because if you don't eat the apple, it's gonna fall down to the tree, hundreds of seeds bust open, and then new trees come up.
Yeah.
We had to do nothing. God gave us the sun, God gave us water. We don't need to do nothing. The seeds have been planted. But when we start creating plastic and creating all these different things that we don't need, then it contaminates the earth, and we all have problems. And we start breeding pigs, breeding chickens, breeding cows. Ultimately, disease is going to be formed. So we have to really take in consideration that we're hurting not only ourselves, but we're hurting the world. So what is this young generation going to do to stop the reoccurring bad things that are happening in the world? Every year, it's getting hotter and hotter. Winter comes, it's getting colder and colder. We have to find a way to break this cycle. So basically, the youth, the power is in your hands. We have to continue to research, continue to educate ourselves to make this world different. And when I say the world, I do mean the world. What you do here in Taiwan affects the whole world. And we should treat it as that. So it's going to take us, the older generation, just old people. They don't listen. They're all about money. While you're young, you don't really care too much about money. You
Yeah.
care about love, you care about your friends, and money is really not a motivation to you. So do it now while you're not in love with money, and I think that's the best time to do it. So that's what I would say to the youth. Educate yourselves, play a lot of sports, enjoy your youth from when you're born to you're 16, 17 years old, because after that, you become an adult, and you're an adult from 19 to 100 years old if you're lucky. So that's a long time. That's 80 plus years. So in your youth time, educate yourselves, and let's make a difference together.
Yeah. All right. That's all for today.
All
Thank
right. Thank you for having me. All right. Thank
Sure.
you. All right.
Oh my God, that was
So not bad.
nervous.
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. I think once you started flowing with it, the questions came out naturally. So again, you want this to really reach out to people. You want them to really be curious and have meaning behind it. So when you're asking these questions, you're not asking them just for yourself. You're asking them for everybody. So hit up like Mike, and maybe we can collaborate on some stuff, some little YouTube channels together. If you want to do YouTube channels, I think we can start something to where young kids your age are going through high school and they're having issues and they just want to ask me questions. It could be an Ask Davis segment. It doesn't have to be pertaining to basketball, to sports.
Mm-hmm.
It could be just issues at home.
Yeah.
Issues with your parents, issues with your girlfriend. Maybe their mom is being so strict. I think I was looking at the news the other day, and some 17-year-old kid locked the door of his parents' house and set it on fire. Did you hear about that?
I heard it. Like it's pretty insane. I don't know why they do this.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying. There's a lot of issues that I can discuss or try to help people to understand or get some insight that doesn't have anything to do with sports, but it can still be addressed, and I can still try to help somebody to not do crazy, insane stuff like that. And maybe some of my messages can reach out to the parents and really let their kids live, let them be free, because they have, again, the rest of their lives to have to pay bills, to have to deal with stress.
Yeah.
Right now, a 17-year-old should not have any stress.
Yeah, actually, like for me, my stress is for the game.
Yeah.
Where
Or
I was worried about I'm not playing good, and my
or
coach.
it's raining outside and you can't go to the